What you think, Teeter? Huh? What you think? Well, this week has been less than productive, to say the least, because of puppy things. We were doing good till Monday morning when she had to try to switch to my third shift schedule, and everything just kind of went from there. Which I can't really blame her, because we had 3 days of day shift schedule since I got her. And then Sunday night I had to switch, which really just freaked her out. And she was crying really bad when I put her in her cage and I left. And when I got home, I could hear her crying from my truck outside. And we been doing better since. She'll whimper a little bit as I walk out the door, and once I get the door closed, she'll be quiet. And then when I get back, she doesn't start doing anything until I open that door. But so she's getting better at me not being here, but the problem you run into is she's been sleeping all night, and I show up and she's wound like an 8-day clock, and I don't get a whole lot of sleep during the day. But Mom and Dad are gonna take her tonight because I think they want to have her. So I should be able to get some sleep tomorrow. But because really all I've managed to get done this week is order some stuff from Shoop and take my taxes in. Didn't really have any chance to video anything. So we're going to do some more farm memorabilia real quick. And naturally, now that I got a fur baby, I can't do it on the floor like I did. So we'll do it on the table. So this guy is actually this one and the next one are from the very, I remember the show I was at. I got this with that 1800 brochure, or that 1800 ad, that 1206 ad, and there's a couple other ones we'll do in a later video that I got all together, but this is the first set of stuff that I ever bought. But this is kind of neat. It's for the Farmall H and the International Pickups. Actually, I don't think it's specifically for the H, it's just this happens to be what's in the picture, but it's a page out of November 1945, Successful Farming. They just don't make ads like this anymore. But this probably November of 45. This has got, yeah, because trying to remember when VJ Day was. That was in August, wasn't it? August of 1945, I think, was VJ Day. So this has got to be one of the first post-war ads that they came out with. But they don't make tractors and they don't make farms like that anymore. I never did look at the back. Oh, boots. Huh. Well, that's kind of a legitimate question today as it was in 1945. This is interesting. The Farmer Speaks, a national survey of opinions of a cross-section of 6 million farmers conducted impartially. Well, now there's not even 6 million farmers. Question 1. Considering the price of land in your community today, do you think that is a good, fair, or poor time for a farmer to buy a farm? Answer. All farmers. 18% good, 19% fair, 55% poor, 8% no opinion. Midwest farmers, 18% good, 22% fair, 54% poor, 6% no opinion. Other farmers, I don't know what other farmers would be, 18%, 16%, 57, and 9. Question 2, do you think it is a good, fair, or poor time for a city person to buy a farm? Interesting. That's neat. So there's that one. And then this one for the International Turbine Tractor, which was based on a 340, if I remember right. Gas turbine engine, only 21 inches long, developed 80 horsepower, an experimental International Harvester Company tractor. There is no vibration, no gear shift. The turbine pumps oil through 2 hydraulic motors that turn the rear wheels. And this actually was not one of the first tractors back then at that point, because Ford had the Typhoon, which I think they used a 961 as a base for that one. Then obviously the Alice fuel cell tractor, that there's video, actually I think there's a video of the Typhoon and the fuel cell tractor. I know there's a video of the fuel cell tractor on YouTube, and I think in one of the Ford videos they have a video on the Typhoon, or at least a section of a video. Too bad they cut that off. That was a New Holland ad. Ah, September of 1961. There is a date on it though. That's nice. So there's that one. And then this one is another one of that batch that I got out of that I got from that buddy out of Canada. That's a cool farm. I like those I like those concrete silos. There's one of those I drive past on the way to work every day that's probably about twice that tall. This is for the 1265 and the 1365 Fiat. Fix it again, Tony. And I cannot give you a whole lot of background on these other than the fact that they were a big freaking mistake. I know some guys like them. I think they're ugly as sin, and they're not white or Oliver or anything from that family other than the paint job, so I just don't appreciate them. But it's part of the history, so I took the brochure. Hard to argue with free. Pulling a New Holland 616 forage chopper. That's actually kind of a neat picture. And then the 1524 loader was the one built specifically for the Fiats. That wouldn't fit anything else. And the one thing that these had that gave them that was nice, that kind of gave them an advantage, is they did have a diff lock, which white should have been put on all of the 55 series, but you know, White Motor Corporation can't be doing none of that. That costs too much money. Need to keep the truck division afloat. Also in other news, if you want to see the corporate tractor restoration progress, the Floyd County Museum Facebook just put up a couple pictures of it, and she's starting to come together. It's starting to look like a tractor again. How did you do that? You gonna get... Yeah, you got it. But for anybody that's interested, the 1365 was 60 max horsepower, 55 on the PTO. The 1265 was 46 max, 41 on the PTO. 1365 was a 4-banger. The 1265 was a 3-banger. And then if I remember right, Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg, and Moncton were the branch houses in Canada, if I remember right. One of the guys from up there can probably confirm or deny that, but I'm pretty sure that's what those were. And then Brantford was the Canadian headquarters. And the combine plant, obviously. And then we go to the Plainsman brochure. There's some cool pictures in here too. That's a big old middle buster. Which is kind of odd because those are normally a southern thing, and that doesn't look very southern. That looks like around here. That could definitely be the Canadian Plains. There's a whole lot of nothing out there. And this was one thing that I never knew until I got this, is the 1400 was offered in 2 horsepower sizes. You could get a straight 1400 diesel, which was 139 horsepower, or a 1400 turbo, which was 154 horse, and the 1400 used a 504 Moline. And then the 1600 had an LP, was the diesel at 169 horse, which used the 585, which was the one that gave him the bad reputation. And then the LP was the HD 800 cubic inch diesel, or cubic inch LP engine, not diesel, dumbass. And the 585 had the potential to be a really good motor if they'd have kept the RPM down in that 12 to 1500 range like Moline always ran, but they tried pushing them too hard. And those big bore long stroke engines are not made to turn fast. They're made to turn low and slow and just make gobs and gobs of torque. And again, White said, nah, 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 nah. Let's spin her up. Let's make some horsepower out of it. They just look so badass open station though. Looking at it, I'm wondering if that, no, like that one's cab, but I'm wondering if that one and that one were taken on the same, well, that one was definitely taken on the same farm as that one because that's the same guy. That's the same guy in this picture. Yes, it is. So that one and that one and that one were all taken probably the same day on the same farm. That's another picture with that middle buster. That one's the same guy. So that one was taken the same time. That's a different guy. But the thing that they pushed for them was, or the thing that they pushed with them is, since they used bar axles, you could set your row spacing for different row crops. And that's the same tractor, but a different guy. Different driver. And that cab is the same one that they put on the white four-wheel drives, but they mounted a little different. Obviously, they changed the interior a bunch. Like, the biggest thing is, on the whites, they became a pod cab, and the dash and everything was built into the cab. And on these, as you can see, that seal right there, they sat over the hood like a normal cab would have been around that time period. But if I ever got one, I'd want it to be open station just because they look so cool. Wondering, nah, that's a later model. Well, it is an early 1855, because it doesn't look like an oil cooler block. So that very well could be, I'm wondering if that dash 70, I wonder if this is a 1970 brochure. Anyway, moving on. How long is this video getting? 15 minutes. We got a little ways to go yet. So this is the one that I was talking about. Oop, I might have to sneeze here. This is the one that I was talking about, I think in the last video, about the discs. That looks like... that must be an 1850. Because it looks like... yeah, it's hard to tell with the guy in there. I'm wondering, that looks like an 1850. Okay, so just for clarification, because I was not 100% sure last time I talked. So the 251, which is the small frame, is cutting width from 7'11" to 10'4". The 252, which is the medium frame, from 9'3" to 19'3". And the 253, which is the wide frame, is from 11.5 to 21 feet. So it is not... I thought that they were based on the base working width. They're based off of the base frame width. So if you got an Oliver disc that doesn't got it, that's a square frame like this, because a 241, 242, they had the pike nose on them. They weren't square. The 250 series was a square frame. So a 251 is going to have, that says 86-inch wheel tread. So not frame width, so they go off the wheel tread. So a 251 is an 86-inch wheel tread. A 252 is an 82-inch or 114-inch wheel tread, which I'm wondering if I'm wondering if the axle's the same width on both of them, but they had the wheels either inboard or outboard of the frame, because I've seen them both ways. Or I've seen them with dual wheels, and ours has got dual wheels. And then the 253 is 105-inch or 137-inch wheel tread. So, you got that. That's out of the way. Which, I ordered disc blades to rebuild our 12-footer, but thanks to COVID, they're on back order for another 3 weeks. So hopefully they actually show up in time to get that thing rebuilt for this spring. I'm gonna have to build me one of them. That'd be handy. All it is so you got your gang wrench, which I've never actually seen one. That's probably one of the first things lost. But they have this gang holder. It's just two pieces. It looks like box tube or square stock or something to go over the whatever you want to call it, the keeper on the end to keep the gang from turning while you're tightening the nut. That'd be handy. Also rare to find any of these furrow levelers, because I'm assuming those are the first things that get ripped off, but see them in the pictures. I don't think I've ever actually seen one on a disc. And then the 260 series was the big one. I'd like to find a 263 20-footer, but they're kind of hard to come by. There's that guy. And the field cultivators, this is a shorty. I think this is only one page. $285, which is the small pole type, from 12.5 feet to 20 feet. And the small ones had manual fold wings, and then 16 foot and up, you had the option of hydraulic fold. Although, once you get that big, your wings are going to be big enough, I don't see how that was an option. But that looks like it's behind a 285 or a 2105 open station. Nope, it's got a Cat 3 hitch. Well, I bet that's a 2150. I'll bet. And then the 385, which is what mine is, just Oliver, not white, from 12.5 to 20 feet. And a 20 foot 3-point field cultivator has to be one heavy mother. And then the big guy was the 485, which I've never actually seen one of. And that one's from 25.5 to 36 feet. And that's behind a... Well, if that's a 2150, that's got to be a 4150. And then the 283 was just a 285 field cultivator frame, but it's got spring tooth tines on it instead of field cultivator tines. And we're gonna wrap up with a little something different. So these two brochures came from the same auction where I got my cat sign. And basically, technically, I guess you could say I stole them. There was an old cow barn, or not cow, hog shed there that was just full of shit. Just random garbage shit. And we were walking through there looking at the stuff, and there was like 4 or 5 boxes of brochures and manuals and stuff that people have been walking over, and they were all beat down into the mud and everything. And so I just kind of started grabbing some of the ones that weren't all beat to hell or tore up from getting walked on, because they were, by the time the auction was over, at the rate things were going, they weren't going to be worth anything anyhow. And they ended up selling the whole barn as one lot, so it's not like they missed them. But it was either save them or not. Not that I'm a Heston guy, because we're back to the whole Fiat thing, but they were worth saving, so. And I can't provide much commentary on any of this because I do not know a damn thing about Hestons other than the fact that they're kind of fugly. I have sat in one, and they're different, to say the least. What kind of features do they promote in here? 60% of the tractor weight on the rear wheels, 40% on the front wheels. Front hydraulic diff lock, that's kind of neat. Large diameter tires, outboard planetaries, centerline drive, fully enclosed drive line, convenient removal of engine side covers, Fiat 6-cylinder diesel engine, fix it again, Tony. Synchronized 12-speed transmission, heavy duty planetary, so they had inboard planetary finals, power adjust rear wheels, Cat 2 3-point hitch, fully independent 540 1000 PTO, swing drawbar, and wide body comfort cab. And like I say, I've sat in one of the cabs and they're different. You can definitely tell they're a European tractor. God, they had some pretty farms though. Look at that barn. I'd kill to have a barn that big. And then you got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 monster ass silos. Heston Corporation, 1982, lithographed in the USA. And lastly, the tillage tools, which they called the Prime line, which these were made in the United States. These were, remember right, I think all of the actual Heston stuff was made in Kansas. Was made in Heston, Kansas. So except the Field Queen choppers. I don't know if the choppers were made in Kansas or not, but all the tillage tools and all the other Heston stuff was made in Heston, Kansas. Which I have some other, I got the hay tool brochure and the Field Queen brochure we'll go over at a later date. I figured I'd pulled enough stuff out for one video. So you got the 2340 flat folding chisel plow, which I've heard a lot of good things about the Heston tillage tools. I guess they were just built heavier than hell. That one there's behind a Versatile. I'm trying to find the working width, but I'm sure they're in here somewhere. But we're getting kind of long, so I ain't gonna search that much. And then the 2310 rigid frame chisel plow. Which they offered in 3-point and pull type. And then they had, those are rigid mounted shanks. They had springers. .2540 disc chisel. That's a goofy looking point. It's like I guess it's 2 pieces. This is just weird that there's a break right there, but interesting. .2240 disc harrows. God, that's a lot of iron. That just looks heavy. .2140 soil finisher. .2240 field cultivators. .2210 field cultivators. Oh, the 2240 is a flat fold. The 2210 stands up. Holy shit, that thing's big. I can't believe that thing would go under power lines. Yep, that one's behind an International. Again, 1982 Heston Corporation. But anyway, I think we're long enough. That's 30 minutes, so we will call it good for now. This will give me something to put up tomorrow since I didn't get shit done this week to make video. So we're gonna work on the plow this weekend. Try to get some stuff done on that. So I guess that's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Teeter, say bye.